Hey guys, Books Nelson here with another video, and now we're going to be breaking down the rewards cards for this season, at least so far. So there are a lot here. Some of these are going to be from the season pass, some of these are going to be mode rewards. There might be some other ways to get these cards. And before we go into them, let's just look at who we have available. So we got Cam Thomas, who can play PG now. He is still 6'3", and he has a bit of a weird jumper, but I liked his jumper before. He is a pink diamond, so I don't expect the jumper to be sped up, which is going to hold the card back some. We got Dillon Brooks, Latrell Sprewell. Very unfortunate that he's not in the Knicks jersey. I know he was in the Knicks jersey before, but can I be selfish though? Can I just want all to have all the Latrells in the Knicks jersey? I can want that. Kyle Lowry, he's going to be extremely small, probably still be a little bit of a dog, at least hawking the ball, but going to be very, very small. And there are so many good point guards, 6'3" and above. That's going to be, we'll see about that. Jeremy Grant, George Mikan was very good back in his day. So hopefully this card is good again. Dantley, Dejounte Murray, been a very long time since we got a Dejounte Murray card. Mashburn, my boy RJ Barrett. A little surprised he's not in the Raptors jersey here, but I'm not complaining. I believe this is the ultimate reward. We'll see if he can compete with Glenn Rice. I'm very curious about that. Oh, I hope Jerry West is not a troll card, man. I don't know if he'll be listed as 6'4" or 6'2". I met Jerry West in real life. And he is definitely taller than 6'2". I don't know why he's one of those few players that was always listed shorter than his actual height, because I'm a legit 6 feet tall. And I have friends who are 6'2", so I'm like used to, and also as artists, I'm used to being able to judge height pretty well. He's taller than that. But anyway, and Billy Cunningham, we'll see. And I'm very excited about this Jokic card. In fact, we're gonna do this. Nah, we'll wait. We'll do it in order. But I'm very curious what they did with this Jokic. All right. Cam Thomas, not gonna waste too much of you guys' time. Great stats except for the 80 strength, so he's gonna be even worse on defense than you thought. Are there any fun animations on here? Allen Iverson dribble style. Oh man, I haven't played with that dribble style in a really long time. I don't think it's very good though. Pro size up. What is this? It's got Tyler. So whatever. Oh no, it's what Reggie Theus has. It's not very good. Not very good at all. We're gonna keep moving. This card stinks. I'm not gonna waste you guys' time with a 6'3" pink diamond with his main release. All right, Dillon Brooks. Kind of excited about Dillon Brooks because he might be a good defender for you. So here we see 95 3 ball, 92 strength, 95 speed. So if you don't have a good small forward or shooting guard, he is most likely going to be serviceable as a lockdown at the very least. He's only got an 80 driving dunk and a 45 standing dunk, which is extremely troll on the card. All right, his stats and badges are up. Defensively, as expected, he has pretty much everything you need on Hall of Fame. So at the very least, he should be a 3-and-D card. He does not have handles for days, so he requires some investment. As a person who just started up a brand new no money spent account, I understand what it's like when you don't have badges for everybody. So these badge intensive cards really hurt. Does he have any good SIGs? He's got D-Fox and Kyrie dribble style with Kemba escape. This card might be better than some of the cards that came out in the main collection today. This is a card that could absolutely be worth upgrading with those stats and badges. John Wall crossover, one of the best in the game. Steph Curry step back, probably in that second tier of step backs behind the John Wall and Chris Paul. Scottie Pippen moving hezzy should be easy to burst out of that, if I'm not mistaken. We will be breaking this card down at some point in the next few days, because I usually get through the season early, because as you guys know, I play a lot of rec and my career stuff with my people, which is why I understand the SIGs the way that I do, because I play PG. And yeah, this card looks way better than I thought he would. Way better. I've moved from totally asleep on this card to very excited about this card. Yeah, he's got some, he's not a great driving dunker, but neither is Kyle Korver, right? And Kyle Korver is also still serviceable in that category. But outside of that, everything else, it's just he needs a bunch of badges, right? He needs that handles for days. I would say that hyperdrive also. I think after that, he's fine, although I would put these 2 badges on and maybe even upgrade that MIDI. But yeah, this card might be usable. And on my no money spent account, as a person who the only good real wing that I have right now is Chris Middleton. I haven't bought Corver because I didn't want to invest those resources in a card from last season, even though Corver's great. So I'm looking to build up that position on that account. And I'm looking at it from that perspective. This card has a very high chance of playing on that account, even compared to the cards that were released this week. So moving forward, so Dillon Brooks, a little excited about this card. So we're off to a pretty good start here. Latrell Sprewell. So Latrell's a little undersized at 6'5". He's also skinny, right? A skinny player model. 6'8" wingspan is solid, but not great. 90 strength, we do love that. 95 driving dunk, love that as well. Shooting stats, not necessarily modern shooting stats. With that 92 three-pointer, still good. Stats and badge-wise, let's see what he's talking about. Doesn't need anything stats and badge-wise. He is missing, I would give him Giant Slayer for sure, and Rise Up for sure. So give him Giant Slayer and Rise Up if you're going to use him. Let's see what those animations are looking like. MJ dribble style, mellow. Okay, so he's not going to be the fastest with the ball. He's going to be fine. This is good, but not great. Kemba Escape is great. Ja combo moves, not great. I would much rather see Ja breakdown moves. They need to start giving these cards the Ja breakdown moves. It's such a good dribble move, and this community has not had access to that yet. Evan Fournier, very quick, cool. Normal leaner and hop jumper, also very cool. This card is pretty solid. I mean, yes, he's undersized, absolutely. And who he's competing against makes it really, really tough. Because at 6'5", competing against, and you know the names, Dr. J and Glenn Rice and blah, 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 blah. Kawhi, I never bring up Kawhi and Scottie Pippen. They're also very, very good. So that's going to, limit this card. But again, thinking of it from a no money spent standpoint, thinking of it about people who might be coming back and miss some of these collections, I think this card has the potential to at least be solid and hold it down until you get a better card. That's the thing I'm looking at. Is he a troll card? Is he a waste of time? No, I think you can have some success with this card, actually. Kyle Lowry. I mean, he's 6 feet tall. We're not going to spend too much time here. 94 3-ball, 80 driving dunk. Stat and badge wise, actually, as expected, defensively, he's solid. Although I will say, gold interceptor on a little tiny card like this, I need you to be excellent at stealing to play. That's what saves a lot of the small point guards, is that they're fantastic at stealing the rock. Now, he does have a 95 steal, and he does have Hall of Fame right stick ripper and glove. So on ball, he's going to be great. But in those passing lanes, with his teeny tiny little bitty with his arms, I don't think he's going to be getting a whole lot of passes in the passing lane. Maybe the 95 speed will help him. But, he'll get a few, obviously. But he's not going to be elite at steals the way some of those smaller cards are really elite at steals, right? Like Drew. I mean, Drew's not small. He's 6'5". But Derek White, 6'4", elite at stealing the ball. Run up to people, slap that right stick around, get that ball up off him, and show them undersized cards can still play. I don't think Kyle Lowry is in that category because he's a mediocre at best dunker, cannot standing dunk, is not elite as a shooter either. He's good as a shooter, not elite. Dribble wise, he's got some good stuff going on dribble wise. I like some of what I'm seeing from a dribbling standpoint. The moving behind, Steph Curry moving behind the back is solid. Chris Paul step back. Yeah, I mean, he's tiny, but as far as tiny cards go, he's still not that great. All right, moving on. Jeremy Grant, 6'7". Oh, man, 6'7" at the small forward is a little bit rough. It's not that you can't play, but with an 84 strength, there are a few cards that 6'7" at the small forward I think are just fine. Ron Artest being still at the very, very top of the list because Ron is absolutely juiced. He was basically the first dark matter in the game, right? And Jeremy Grant, I don't think he fits into that category. Let's look at the animations real quick. Kobe size up, Michael Jordan dribble style, pretty mid. Pro escape should be absolutely fine on the escape. If that's Jimmy Butler, then yeah, he's good to go. John Wall step back's really good. So he's fine. Triple threat, he might be okay. Let's look at these attributes. 95 driving dunk, we love that. 93 pointers, okay. I would definitely say a shoe on that. He doesn't need any badges, which is nice that he's not resource intensive. Maybe midi magician, maybe. But I think with the mid, he'll still be able to hit that mid range, no problem. 87 speed with ball, not great. Yeah, this card, I'll be honest, is a somewhat usable filler card, but nothing anybody needs to get excited about. George Mikan. All right. Did they tell you how you get these cards? I don't know. But anyway, moving forward. So 6'10" at the power forward. So this is basically a one position card because his wingspan isn't enough to have him be like the Kevin McHale's of the world, who I think can play the 5 because the wingspan is just so crazy. This is a power forward, plain and simple, straightforward. So let's see what he's talking about. So we're gonna have a George Mikan card with a Donovan Mitchell size up. That's hilarious. My team is hilarious. Michael Jordan dribble style, which is great. Very good at least. Normal leaner, normal hop jumper, that's fine. James Harden step back, so he's gonna be out there, skip it a pat pat. That's it. This is gonna be a hilarious card to use. I would use this card just for the comedy of George Mikan dancing around on the perimeter. But yeah, he actually looks pretty solid. He looks pretty solid. I like his jumper just fine. It was good early in the year on that Amethyst. That Amethyst actually put in a lot of work. He was one of the first good cards I got, and that release timing on very quick should make that even better. Moving step back, what does he have? The D-Book looks like. Whatever D-Book has, which is usually kind of on the mid side. So that's not super great. Pro Hezi should be fine. Usually whenever they have Pro Hezi, they can same side burst. Oh my Lord. What are we doing? Did we do that? Oh my God. Let's go back and get George Mikan again. Okay. So yeah, this guy looks, he needs handles for days. He needs hyperdrive. He needs Agent 3. So that's the problem with this card is he needs some badges to get going. Is he elite at his position? No, I wouldn't say so. He looks pretty good though. He looks solid. 96 strength. I love that defensively. With the 96 strength, you put the speed shoe on him. You upgrade that 3-point shot. Inside scoring is absolutely elite at basically everything, which we also love. The driving dunk could be better, but it is certainly not bad at a 90. That's definitely good enough to get cooking. 95 pass accuracy with a high rebounding. Can't overlook that. This card, once he rebounds, he's going to be able to fling that thing all the way up court. And I expect he's got break starter. Yep. He's got, wait, where's his break starter at? What is that on? What is your break starter? Yeah, he's got gold break starter. I wish that was Hall of Fame, but it's still going to be very good. The main thing is hopefully you have some handles for days badges lying around. He's going to need Agent 3. He's going to need open looks. I would even say with that normal hop jumper, give him Space Creator as well. So this is another resource intensive card. And since a lot of these have been coming out, as many badges as there are, as a lot of people have, even ignoring the people who are coming back to the game or brand new or whatever, even if you had a lot of badges at some point, a lot of people sell some of their badges, and these cards, a lot of these resource intensive cards have come out. So, if you have those badges, then this card gets a lot better because those are all huge badges that he needs. But yeah, I think this George Mikan actually looks pretty good. That's where I would rate him. Pretty good. I got to see what this release is like on very quick. Would he play for me? Not on my main account because I have, what I have? Bol and somebody else on my main. But on my backup account, on my no money spent account, I think I have Bam, and I'm about to get Kevin McHale. Might play, actually. Might play. All right, moving forward. We did Lowry. Okay, Adrien Dantley. Let's go straight to these animations here. Another one with this Ja Morant signature size up. Curry escape, which is actually pretty solid escape. Pretty solid escape. James Harden step back. Solid all around. Trey Leaner, normal hop jumper, very, very good. I expect the jumper to be pretty good as well. 6'5" though at the 2 guard. So that's the question: is are these stats and badges and SIGs enough to justify the height? With an 87 3 ball, it's just not going to cut it for me. And for me, not going to cut it. For me, even if I'm just looking at Chris Middleton and like Mike Miller or Kyle Korver, and possibly possibly Cam Whitmore and this Dillon Brooks, I don't know if this Adrien Dantley plays. I do like what I'm seeing defensively, but only an 85 block too. At his size, I just don't know if he's good enough to be a 6'5" 2 guard. I think if you're a 6'5" 2 guard, you've got to bring the thunder when it comes to these animations. And he looks solid animation-wise. He looks usable, but not great. Triple threat, he's probably fine at PG, but again, there are better options even for triple threat. All right, Dejounte Murray, also 6'5", but can play PG. PG is hilarious. I hope that's a typo. If he's a one-position card, that's hilarious. Not even that you would ever use him as shooting guard. What I will say, though, is if you have objectives that shooting guards need to do, every other point guard in the game, pretty much, except for the Jokic, is going to do point guard and shooting guard objectives. If this is not a typo, then that would be very unfortunate for him. And it's also backed up over here on this side. So we'll see. That's very strange to me that they did that. Again, not a big deal, but it is a nice thing that you can stack objectives with point guards and shooting guards in some scenarios, and he won't be able to do that. So that having been said, 93 ball, excellent athleticism aside from the strength. Definitely going to put a shoe on that and hopefully have a coach to get that up over to 90 so that he can defend better. Because he is a little, I mean, he's got a 6'10 wingspan, which is pretty good for his height. A little on the skinny side, but, should be able to hold his own. Again, I use that Derek White, and he's absolutely great. Speed helps so much on defense when strength is not a factor. Defensively, looking solid. Playmaking wise, looking great. Dunk all over the place with the dunk. I think even that's the 75 standing dunk should be just fine with the card. And don't let these yellows fool you, because most of that is post up and block. He looks pretty good. Let's see what these badges are looking like. I think badge wise, he looks pretty complete. Yeah, I don't see anything I'd actually give this card. I mean, maybe just rebound chaser and box out beast if you have spares and you're playing triple threat, so he can, get you a few extra rebounds there. But at the point guard position, not a big deal. Let's see about these animations. Alrighty. Tracy with Michael Jordan, pretty solid. Pretty solid right there. Curry escape, also solid. Dame crossover. So the Damian Lillard crossover. Shout out to Kevin Cruz. Follow him if you are not already. So the great thing about the Dame crossover, it is fantastic at getting to your leaner in the mid-range, because it's basically a purely horizontal crossover that you can use to really be good at shot creation in that mid-range area, which makes everything else that much more dangerous. Because once you prove you can cook somebody with that stuff and basically get a bucket every time, then they start giving up those three-pointers. And with this John Wall moving hot back, he's going to get access to that three-pointer. I actually think this looks like a very good point guard. I got to see what this release is like. But he's got the Trey leaner. So if this release on very quick is good, then this John Wall hot back with that Dame Lillard crossover, we will be breaking down this card if we get our hands on this card. And this card definitely has potential to be a point guard that plays. What's his behind the back? Pro behind the back? What are you talking about? So he's got this same one that a lot of these other great cards have. So I expect this to be really great. If not the Jamal Murray, something very close like the Halliburton. I didn't see Halliburton on that list, but it looks really good. Pro hesitation means he can same side burst. Yeah, this guy looks like he might be an elite point guard. Seriously, this might be an elite point guard. We will see. Stay tuned. But it's looking good over there. Okay, Mashburn, 6'8" at the small forward. Already solid size at the position. 93 speed could be better, but okay. 97 strength, absolutely love that. Between the two, at the small forward, to be honest with you, I'd rather have the 97 strength because I can boost that speed. But at this 97 strength, he's going to be able to hold his own a lot better against some of these monster cards at his position. 89 3 ball, kind of disappointing. We'll say that. It could be better there. But let's look at the badges real quick. Okay, another card. That's what we're talking about, right? How many of these resource-intensive cards do you get before you start running out of the resources? Because even something like, oh, I'm running out of gold handles for days, or maybe silver handles for days, so I can't get to the gold, that can be a major factor in being able to upgrade all these cards. So just something to mention. Animation-wise, Westbrook size up was okay. Michael Jordan dribble style is pretty good. Trey escapes, fantastic. Jimmy Butler step back is a little less than maybe mid step back. Usable in some context, but not very good. Curry behind the back is very good. So yeah, I mean, this card looks pretty solid. Combo moves from Hardaway, those are actually very, very good combo moves. Normal leaner, normal hop jumper, solid combo there. We'll see what the jumper's like. Yeah, this guy, he can do the job. He's not knocking your socks off, but he looks like he can do the job. All right, RJ Barrett, 6'6" at the shooting guard position. Obviously, you are not going to use this card at the small forward at 6'6", because he doesn't have the athleticism with 93 speed. I mean, this isn't terrible, but you are going to have to throw a shoe on that to help him to stay with the current cards, right? And but slashing, looking really good, which you would hope. Strength, 90 strength. We love to see that on RJ Barrett, one of the stronger two guards in the league, right? And stats and badge-wise, what are we talking about? Yeah, he's good badge-wise. Like, some people look at that dimer I mean, Diamond's fine, but the cards have such good shooting stats across the board. It's really much more useful if you're playing with a Mark Eaton card, who's the one I always think of when I want to say Craig Elo. Mark Eaton or Artis Gilmore, it's going to help a lot more if you're playing with those cards. Wilt Chamberlain, help a lot more if you're playing with those cards. But by and large, not super necessary. But yeah, looking solid there with the stats and the badges. Okay, Paul George size up with Michael Jordan dribble style should be fine. Kemba escape is absolutely great news. John Wall moving step back, great news. I do like RJ's jumper, and I like it even more on very quick. Pro 2 leaner, you know what? This card, I think, can play. I think this card can play some basketball. LeBron James layup style. We haven't been looking at a lot of layup styles. I'll rectify that. But yeah, LeBron layup style. A lot of excellent animations. This looks like it's probably, it looks like it's a great behind the back as well. Kyrie Hezzy is fantastic. Easy to burst out of. I like this RJ Barrett card. And I like this RJ Barrett card a lot. So looking a little deeper into this RJ Barrett card, the thing that stands out to me is just upgrading the speed. I would even say upgrading the strength. After that, you can do what you want. You know what? I will say defensively, why just scooch up some of these stats into the upper 90s. So strength, speed, defense. I don't think you really need to touch the shooting. Maybe give him a 3-ball shoot just on general principle, so that he can really just boost that green window on those step back, hop back, and behind the back 3-pointers. But I would say don't sleep on this RJ Barrett. Really curious. The main thing, what does this base look like on very quick? If this base and upper speed up well on very quick, don't sleep on this RJ Barrett. He actually looks very good. J.R. Smith. So I believe this is the ultimate for the season. So now we need to see. He's got his own jumper. This is a dramatic step back from Glenn Rice if he's the ultimate reward. Yeah, he can play point guard, but, all right. Well, look at what else he has. So, I mean, the stats are basically perfect. I mean, the animations are basically perfect outside of his own jumper. And it's not even like I'm saying his jumper's horrible, but without T-Mac or Patty Mills base, there's going to be a card that has all of this stuff, but has T-Mac or Patty Mills base. And I would imagine that that's what they're going to use to start to incentivize opening packs, is start releasing cards with those bases. So it's not that. So when I talk about this card, it's not that this card isn't good, because he is good. But by the time you get this card, if I'm not wrong about him being the ultimate reward, it won't be like Glenn Rice, where Glenn Rice is an end game card. I think Glenn Rice will be probably usable until 2K25. This card will be replaced by somebody with a Patty Mills or Tracy base at some point, probably during the season, probably in packs. So, that's pretty much it for J.R. Smith. Like, stats and badge wise, he looks outstanding. The stats are already there. The badges, don't have to give him anything. Doesn't even really need a shoe, to be honest with you. I'd put it on strength, and everything else is preference. But yeah, so the card looks good, but without a truly, truly elite jump shot base, I don't know if he'll ever be more than good. And we're going to move forward. All right, Billy Cunningham. So 6'6" at the small forward, which pretty much makes him a triple threat card, right? Which is fine, because, got to play triple threat too. But he's 87 3-point. Don't love that. So now we got to look at the strength and speed, athleticism looking good. All of the stats are looking good. Driving dunk looking amazing, actually. Badge-wise, I keep wanting to say stats and badge-wise, but badge-wise, he looks fantastic and should be really great going to the basket. LeBron layup package, arguably the best in the game. Looking good across the board here. Kemba escape, Michael Jordan dribble style. Love that. LeBron James combo moves, really not great. Mid moving crossover. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a usable moving crossover, but not outstanding. Curry slide, fantastic. Curry step back, very, very good. Basically one of the best ones you can have if you don't have Chris Paul or John Wall. And yeah, he looks pretty good, but I think this is just a triple threat card. And Draymond Green lower base looks, we'll see what that looks like. I'm a little scared about that. Normal leaner is fine. Hop jumper pro, not great. So yeah, this card looks fine. I don't see why you would use the card. Even as a triple threat card, Middleton's really, really good. Like, if you don't have any other cards that compete in this area, Middleton's really, really good. So this card looks like a definite fake dark matter, because I can think of many opals that are better at this card, especially better than this card, especially at his position. Jerry West. Okay, so he's up to 6'3" from 6'2", which is solid at least. I'm going straight to these animations. His base with his upper, just not great. His upper is the reason Adam Morrison has not been like truly elite all year, is because he has Jerry West upper. I will say, SIGs wise, he looks pretty solid. Looks really good on the SIGs. Pro 2 leaner makes him somewhat usable. At the end of the day, he's a 6'3" guard. So I don't know, if you're going to be too excited to get this card on the rewards. If he shows something special, I will break it down. But with an 80 driving dunk at 6'3", I just don't see him at a very overloaded position getting playing time for much of anybody, to be honest with you. And here we are, finally. Nikola Jokic. We're going straight to those animations. All right. Or I click this button. There are some things that I need to see. He needs to keep his shooting SIGs. Okay, he kept his shooting SIGs. So this is the power forward version. We will look at the point guard version to see if anything is different. So he's got D Fox and Michael Jordan. I'm actually not that happy about this change. The D Fox is really good, but he had Dwayne Wade Pro on the other one. And man, is that such a good combo for his style. But he's got his own hop jumper, which is outstanding. Pro 2 leaner, it's going to be great. His upper is so easy to read on the leaner. I just did a video on Jokic after they released the Galaxy Opal talking about how I think the card's still really good. And with these animations, he's going to still be super great. John Wall moving crossover is a major upgrade for this card. This is a whole new dimension that this card can get into now. With the Chris Paul hezzy, this guy is outstanding. That having been said, we are going to look at the point guard version after this. In fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. There we go. Okay, point guard version. Are there any different animations? There are not. He is identical. And this is what I was talking about in my previous video. So a lot of people are like, oh, pay to win version. Here's the thing. What point guards are really good at is creating threes offensively. If you're getting that from your 2 or your 3 or even your 4, then you're fine playing a card like Jokic if he moves well enough defensively to chase the other cards around, because the bigger cards don't move as well as they used to in previous years. So yes, having a 6'11" point guard on the court can be a good thing. But if you need shot creation from your 6'11" point guard, now I do think in a 5-out setting, Jokic is better than, say, a Ben Simmons because of his step back. The Jokic step back is not only really great in general, but it is extraordinarily great against the CPU. The CPU cannot guard that move. Literally cannot guard that move. All you have to do is go side to side and do that. I've showed you guys in the video, right? Now, that guy was playing on-ball defense, but if he switched to off-ball, you would have seen it there too. Many, many times have I done this in an online setting. Hit that step back jumper creates so much space. In my opinion, Nikola Jokic is basically what we've wanted from Kevin Durant cards. And KD's upper has just been so awkward, and his leaner takes up it creates too much space because he moves into other defenders in a 5v5 setting. Jokic doesn't do that because he moves more backwards than to the sides. He moves away from the defenders. So it's very easy to plot that out. So even for myself, will I be using Jokic at the point guard position? I'm much more likely to use this card because I like him better at the 4. I think the 4 is still probably his best position. Will he be cheesier? Yes. But the more skilled you are, I think the more you are thinking about Jamal Murray behind the back, Patty Mills or Tracy Bates. That's what you're looking for out of your point guard, or whatever gets closest to that. Can I get something close to Jamal Murray, like the Halliburton or the Harden? Can I get something close to those other bases, like a JT Thor or a Ben Shepherd, right? You're looking for that elite shot creation ability. That's why Glenn Rice is so very, very strong. That's what you're looking for at the point guard position. And when you get that at the point guard position, I think this card starts to have more value. He's got great size at the power forward position. He can already play power forward very, very well. I think he's usable at center. I do think he's usable at center, especially the dark matter version. We're going to get into the attributes soon. But this is one of my favorite cards in the game. So I apologize. I got to get on the milk crate for this one because I love Jokic cards this year. Okay, stats-wise, identical across the board. Absolutely awesome. So even though old school my team thinking is he can play point guard, that's the version you got to pay for. I think that's preference, to be honest with you. I do not think that this card is an upgrade over this card. I think this card is a preference over this card because his best position, in my opinion, the one that he's most elite at, is that power forward position. Is he the best point guard in the game? Personally, I would rather have Shea or a card like Glenn Rice at the PG position than an oversized card at the PG position. That's just me personally. Because now the one thing I will say about Jokic is his jump shot is so high that kicking out to him, he's going to be uncontested on a lot of shots because of that high jumper. It's not the fastest jumper, but it is very high. I do want to actually look at that jumper, make a quick comparison there. Since these cards are identical, we don't need to look at him anymore. And let's look at the Opal. So jump shot wise, they're both very quick. So it's going to be the same jumper, right? Before he had the basic leaner, man, that basic leaner looks so good on him. Pro 2 leaner is going to be great too. Might even be better. But oof, that basic leaner on this particular upper is so good. Man, I'm going to miss you, Pro Dribble Style. I'm going to miss you so much. But that having been said, this is a different way to be very, very good. And yeah, really looking forward to it. So attributes, we'll keep the comparison up for now just so we can see how much better he is. Three-pointer shot, he's going to be the same as a three-pointer, right? As a three-point shooter. Speed-wise, big upgrades just because it's so across the board, just, you know, just generally faster. Defensively, this is the big one also. So the speed is going to help him even more on defense. And speed with the ball a little better. Love that. But this is just honestly a reasonably marginal upgrade outside of the dribble style. Like the fact that he can move more like a guard is going to be good. But I liked his movement before. So, you know, that is up to you. But yeah, just solid upgrades over the Opal. I actually don't think it's super duper crazy. Let's look at the badges, see what the upgrades are. We see here badges are mostly identical, although I will say this is a big one, right? Let's go to the next gen. There we go. But yeah, that's a big one. So Hall of Fame right stick ripper and Hall of Fame 94 feet and Hall of Fame pick dodger. Those are massive upgrades. Hall of Fame glove and fast feet. This is going to make him a much better defensive card. So even though stats wise, he's not like way faster, he's faster, but he's not like way faster. Shooting wise, he's virtually identical, right? I will say Hall of Fame spot finder is going to make him even better. If you play triple threat co-op, that is a solid improvement. Physical handles Hall of Fame and Hall of Fame speed booster. This is actually a really big upgrade for this badge. So the main thing, to get into the weeds of this as we close out this video, the main thing you guys are looking at, this John Wall crossover, De'Aaron Fox size up with the where are you at? Moving head with the Chris Paul moving hezzy. This is going to allow him to be so good at getting to the basket, which he was already good at with the D Wade and pro dribble style. He already was. I showed that to you guys in the video. And I've played a lot with this card online and just had nothing but success the entire time he's been out. He's been one of my favorite cards in the game. Right? And I have Dr. J, I have Shea, and I'm a park point guard, so, you know, a rec point guard. So I'm used to using these moves, and I still love what this card brought to the table with these old animations. These new animations are an improvement, but I do need to see how they feel with his particular skill set to really feel like, you know, do I like it more? I'm not saying if it's better because these are on paper better SIGs. We acknowledge that. But will he move as well with these SIGs as he did with these SIGs to get to these power moves here, which is this Jokic hop jumper? That's the thing with the Jokic hop jumper with his upper is just so elite. That having been said, I will be happy to get an updated Jokic with very updated badges is the biggest thing. The two biggest things are his updated badges and that John Wall crossover. Those two things really put him over the edge. What's his moving step back? And this Chris Paul moving step back's also massive because this now allows him to retreat. This card, I mean, honestly, this card for me was unguardable. This card should be even more unguardable. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to him at the 4. I will most likely get the Pro Pass because, again, as a rec player, getting the Pro Pass allows me to fly through the upgrades because I get to use the XP coins for both of them, right? So I will most likely get that. It's the best value in the game. It's the only time that I personally feel good about giving the game money because they give me value for my money when I buy the Pro Pass. Every other way, I feel like 2K is trying to rob me, so I don't do it. But yeah, looking really, really great. The behind the back, obviously, we're not going to sleep on that. The thing about it was with his jumper, I just don't know if the behind the back into his jumper is going to be a very good tool because of the load up on his jumper. The strength of his jumper is in his moving shots, and his height, the height of the release on the catch and shoot does make it a good catch and shoot jumper. So even though it's not the fastest, the height is almost like speed because you have to get closer to him in order to contest it. And you'll foul him a lot if you're running at him. So it's almost the same effect as having a faster jumper, if that makes any sense. But that is going to finally wrap it up for all of these reward cards. Some good ones here. Actually, honestly, a bit more excited about these reward cards than I am for the collection this week. And not even from a 2K's gambling standpoint, but just to wrap it up. This card looks like he'll play for me on my no money spent, at least for the time being. This card would also play for me on my no money spent, at least for the time being. And this reward card should be very good. And actually, I'm looking at RJ Barrett as very good. The rest of the cards are either mid or not super great. A J.R. Smith will be fine if you get him. But if he's the ultimate reward, which I believe he is, far, far worse than Glenn Rice is my expectation. And I think he will be replaced, if not Tuesday, Friday, or the Tuesday after. There will be a point guard that this card has no chance of playing in front of. And even for me right now, would I play him ahead of my main duo of Shea and Oscar? Most likely not. Maybe. But because of the way you get the card, that's what knocks him down. If he was like in clutch time or something like that, where you could basically get him this weekend, then it might be different. But I think by the time you get this card, his time will be gone. That's my personal assessment. We'll see if I'm wrong about that when we see the card in the wild. Other than that, can't thank you guys enough for the support. We're over 1,000 subs. Can't believe it. But we're going to keep it pushing, keep elevating the conversation. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.